My mom asked me to cover for her at a funeral, and that's how I found out who was actually in the casket. She called me sounding frantic, claiming a migraine was keeping her bedridden. She said it was an old family friend, someone named Elias, I'd supposedly met as a toddler. All I had to do was show up, sign the guest book, and keep my head down. She was adamant that our family had to be represented to maintain some vague social standing in her hometown. I arrived at the small private chapel expecting a somber crowd of seniors. Instead, the room was filled with people in their late 20s, all dressed in expensive, identical charcoal suits. Nobody was crying. They were whispering in tight circles, casting sharp glances at me the moment I walked in. I felt like an intruder, but I pushed forward to the open casket to pay my respects and get out of there. When I looked down, the air left my lungs. The man inside wasn't an old friend named Elias. He looked exactly like my father, who supposedly died in a car accident 12 years ago. But this man was older, with the same distinct scar on his chin I remembered from childhood. Before I could process the sight, a woman gripped my elbow. She looked remarkably like my mother, only polished and cold. She whispered that it was a shame my mother didn't have the courage to show up herself to see the results of her handiwork. I realized then that the migraine was a lie to keep my mother far away from a crime scene disguised as a service. This wasn't a funeral for a friend. It was a gathering for a man who had been living a second life, and my mother was clearly involved in how that life ended. The woman handed me an envelope and told me to tell my mom that the debt is settled. I drove home in total silence, the envelope sitting on the passenger seat. My mom was waiting in the kitchen, looking perfectly fine, sipping tea. She didn't ask how the service was. She only asked if I got what was promised. Now I'm sitting in my room, staring at a photo of my dead dad from 2012 and wondering which version of my parents is the real one. Would you like me to write a follow-up story exploring what was inside the envelope?